Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. I'm Monal Sangvi and we have here today the management and the CEO of Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals, which is IPO bound. Now, the company predominantly operates in the western region of the country and it has hospitals in Thane and Pune and it has a newly acquired facility in Indore. It's also having a facility under development in Dombivli near Mumbai. Welcome to the show, Dr. Ankit Thakker.
Thank you, Monal. Thanks for having me.
So your DRHP was filed in May and you shall be starting with the roadshow soon from what I understand. So what is the amount that you're planning to raise?
So we are raising around 600 crores in primary and we have some OFS component from some of our shareholders.
Total, how much are we looking at, sir? How big is the IPO?
So the OFS will translate into whatever valuation it comes to. The primary is quantified at 600 plus crores.
Okay. So how are we planning to use these 600 crores?
So we have just two purposes. We are going to retire our debt, which is around 460 odd crore, and the balance is for general corporate purposes.
So we're not planning to use any amount towards expansion plans, is it?
So currently we have fixed deposits and cash reserves on our books. Okay. And once we become debt free, there will be a lot of free cash flow generated. So we will use that.
So from what I understand, the Dombivli facility, which is under construction, which is around 500 beds, will be funded internally.
Yes, that is correct.
And future, I mean, if going forward, what is the sort of growth that you're envisaging? How are we planning to expand? Is it new geographies or are we going to restrict ourselves to the western region? What is the plan?
So the current thought is to cement our position in Western India and try to, become leading healthcare providers in the West. In terms of geographies within the West, we are open and exploring. The aim is to, in the next 3 to 5 years, go to something like 2,500 odd beds. So that is our growth plan for the next phase.
Okay. And for this 2,500 beds, is it that you're going to acquire a newer facility or we plan to increase the capacity at our existing hospitals?
So we have already expanded some capacity in our Pune hospital.
Okay.
Indore has 200 more beds which we can increase. Okay. But over and above that, we plan to have something like 3 or 4 new hospitals in the next 3-4 years.
Okay.
And primarily the desire of the group is to have greenfield projects, which means we buy and build. But we are always open to opportunities, and if a right opportunity for acquisition comes up, we will evaluate it accordingly.
Typically, so just for understanding the sector, how is it that when you build a new hospital, how much time does it take to scale it up and for it to break even and then start giving profits?
So we have seen that in the second year of operations, the hospitals could achieve EBITDA break-even. In third year onwards, they'll start flowing cash.
Okay. So is that the plan for... So how is it with the Indore facility? Because that was an acquired one, right?
So again, similar experience.
Okay.
We have just concluded our second full year of operations, and we are... close to EBITDA break-even in the financial year. We have projected numbers up to December, and it is tracking that way.
So this will be at par with the existing mature hospitals, that is Thane and Pune?
At par with the existing meaning? What is the question?
In terms of margins, do you see that in the third year, the margins will be at par with what we are seeing at the matured hospitals?
So no, suddenly in the third year, no hospital will be able to throw as much margin as a fully matured hospital. But from the third to fifth, sixth year, there is a exponential growth in margins. So eventually, by year 6 or 7, it kind of achieves optimal operating margins.
Okay, sir. So also just one point on the PAT margins, I was going through the DRHP and it is in the range of 7 to 8%. Now that falls slightly lower on the peer set that was mentioned, while your EBITDA margins are way better. So are we doing something on the operational efficiency side with the funds that we are raising? Is there some plan to do something on that front?
So I think, I would want to analyze this on a few layers. One is that currently, as you rightly said, EBITDA margins of Jupiter are amongst, the EBITDA margins of Jupiter are close to, the top range of the peer set. But below the EBITDA, currently we have a debt of around 450-60 crores, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
So there is an interest component on that. We have actually cash reserves of 120 odd crore, which are reserved for our future expansions. And also, the Indore property is yet to fully start throwing, positive cash. So the drag of Indore and the debt have a little bit of way below the EBITDA. But once we become debt free, I think those numbers should start looking much better.
Okay. Sure, sir. Also, now we'll be talking about overall business. So, you're a multi-specialty hospital, but from what I understand, 2 of your facilities concentrate on neurological rehab. For the newer facilities that you're planning in the next leg of growth, and also the Dombivli facility, what exactly is your plan? Are we going to concentrate on a particular therapy area, or is it going to be multi-specialty? And how is it going to pan out?
So all our facilities, all 3 facilities are multi-specialty.
Yeah.
We do everything from newborn care and birthing up to organ transplants, cancer care, open heart surgeries, neurology, all the facilities. Neurological is not a focus area but a differentiator. So we believe that we are very strong in robotic and computer assisted rehab for neurological diseases. And we have really strong departments in Thane and Indore. So while your observation is correct that neuro rehab is a strength, but it is not the focus area of the hospital. It is just one of the departments within the hospital. So the future growth of Dombivli and beyond will be similar, where we will be multi-specialty, tertiary quaternary care healthcare providers.
Okay, sir. Sir, just a little bit of understanding on how is it with the doctors. So are they on payroll? Are they visiting faculties? How does it work with your network?
So we have a mixed model. In all branches of medicine and surgery, we have at least one full-timer.
Okay.
And we also have visiting doctors who can, associate and work with us. So we are an inclusive member of the community, both for the patients and for the healthcare providers. As I said, we provide all branches of medicine, clinical specialty wise. And even for doctors, we are, though we have full-timers in all branches, we are not, closed door. We are open to working with visiting doctors as
well. Okay, sir. Also, in Thane, there's a hotel which is in support with the main hospital, and that is helping your medical tourism endeavors. Now, are such other plans also in motion at other hospitals that we have, and for the newer hospitals? And what sort of revenue comes in from medical tourism?
So, currently only Thane Hospital has a hotel attached to it. The other hospitals do not have a hotel attached to it. So the hotel in Thane helps us in multiple ways. International medical tourism, domestic medical tourism, conducting academic medical programs, hosting, visiting faculty from different cities, states and countries. And also being a source of support for, patients and their families who need long stay in the hospital. So there are multiple uses of the hotel, both clinically and academically. besides them also catering to and providing food for all our patients. So those are the reasons why we still have the hotel. In terms of revenue, it is very small. It is less than 2% of our revenue comes from the hotel.
So I was referring to the overall medical tourism revenue contribution to the whole.
Yeah, so we don't have a strong focus on international medical tourism.
Okay.
So there is no significant international medical tourism revenue.
Okay. And we follow the hub only model from what I understand. So is that going to be how we are going to go ahead in the future as well? Or are we planning to branch out and set up some clinics from where people can come in? The focus is going to be on domestic medical tourism or on international, where you look at setting up smaller units outside the country as well?
No, currently there is no thought to do anything outside the country.
Okay.
We strongly believe that to provide good medical care, it has to be in large flagship hospitals, because medical problems don't occur in isolation. Often, if you have disease of one organ, does not mean that you will not need any other specialist. So in order to provide good medical care, we believe that a multidisciplinary team with centers of excellence, various branches is very essential. And also, in terms of financial results, I think the economies of scale are much better achieved in flagship hospitals or hub hospitals, whichever way you call them. So as far as we are concerned, we have taken a decision that we would like to continue with the hub only model and not branch out into small facilities at this point in time.
So, and my last question here, in terms of growth. So, while you said that we're planning 5 to 6 newer hospitals in the coming few years, would that put the margins under pressure from the current levels? And even in terms of maybe the PAT might improve because of the loan repayment. But how do you envisage the growth in terms of revenue and margins going forward?
So yes, we are planning to add 3 to 4 new hospitals, taking our group to about 6, 7 odd hospitals in the next 3 to 5 years. Definitely, when a new hospital starts, as we discussed earlier, it takes a year or two to settle down, stabilize, and then start throwing positive cash. But as Pune is still in its growth phase, Indore is started maturing and is expected to throw cash in the coming years. We believe on a consolidated level there will not be a drag on our P&L, and we will be able to deliver the growth which we are looking at without stress.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Would love to speak to you once you're out with the IPO. We'll do a chat again. It was a pleasure having you on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me, Mohan. Have a good day.